Welcome everyone to the Coach Salt Show semifinal edition this week, Coach.
Yep.
The semifinals are upon us. We've been through a few playoff games and cold front coming through, and it's been, I think, 10 years since we've had a game of this magnitude here at Franklinton High School on our campus. So blessed to be in this position, and we appreciate all that you and your coaching staff have done to get us here.
You too, Coach. This is a team effort from the principal's chair all the way down to Miss Renee. So it really is a team effort. But this is where we should be. Franklinton High School should be playing in these games frequently.
Yeah, it takes a lot of work. A lot of people see what happens on Friday. Our community's on fire right now. But in order to get here, there's a process that we started back in January. A lot of it's making the players believe, and I feel like you've done a great job of that.
Thank you.
When you've been in those settings before, you know what it takes, and that's important. So to have a head coach that's been in those settings, that's had success at the highest level, it's easier for those people to transcend that vision to his players and his coaching staff, and that's something you've done.
Yeah, I don't think you can be afraid to talk about the Superdome, Coach. I mean, it is your ultimate goal, so you might as well talk about it. And we'll start again in January when we host a new group of guys coming in and tell them what this group has done for us. And, hopefully it ends with a ring on our fingers. But what they have done is reestablished Franklinton High School in the pecking order of Division II non-select football. I mean, we belong in those top 3-4 teams year in and year out, and this group has done that for us.
Yeah, no doubt. And reflecting back on, 10 years ago, I mean, we were the third best team in the state behind Neville and Carl.
Right.
And if you look now, those two teams are still in it at the 5A level.
Right. And that's a program, and we're not going to talk about what happened between you and now. It's irrelevant.
Right.
What is relevant is we're now back there, and now it's our job to stay there. That's the relevant part of all of this.
That's exactly right. So when we last came to you folks, obviously Thanksgiving week, things were a little different, so we didn't have a show. But when we last spoke, the Demons were getting ready to take on West Feliciana.
Right.
First home playoff game in a few years, and Demons go out on the field and secure a victory. I think it was 42-21 was the final against a quality opponent in West Feliciana. That led to Thanksgiving week, where we hosted Lakeshore, a district opponent again.
Right.
And so before we get to Lakeshore, Coach, it seems like it's been months ago when you get into all of it in the playoffs, but what do you recall about West Feliciana? I mean,
well, I'll tell you, that was our best week of practice, really, since I've been the head coach for 2 years. That was our best week of practice. We were very focused. We had to get on a bus and go to Southeastern one night because of the weather. And you just kind of knew our players had that attention to detail that you need to win in the playoffs all the way through practice. And you and I have talked, before about it's the teams that are willing to keep practicing and practicing hard and practicing to improve that make these long runs. And so I noticed that right away, that our guys were still focused at practice, were more focused than they'd been at practice, and they were ready for the challenge. And, we went out and handily defeated a good West Feliciana team. They scored with 3 seconds left against our backups. We were up 42-14. And so, I think it gave us tremendous confidence going forward.
Yes, it did, and so it was a big win against a quality team. I mean, we saw them play in Zachary, had some success, didn't win, but obviously they had some. Excuse me. It was a quality team with some quality. Excuse me. Victories, and big win for the Demons.
Yeah, I just think, when you play in, I think our schedule, Coach, I know for a fact our schedule has prepared us for the playoffs. It's interesting when you look at the teams we played outside of a meet, who everybody knows. People don't know how good Pine is. People don't realize how good Jules Sumner is. People don't realize the type of football programs we have in our district. With Pearl River, who's done they've done a good job over there with Coach Collins, and Larange was one of the more physical teams in the state of Louisiana, and in Lakeshore, who traditionally is playing during this time of the year. So I think our schedule really prepped us for where we are right now, and going all the way back to we open up with a meet and Covington, and we scrimmage Kentwood. So we've played some quality people, and I think it's prepared us for where we are right now.
And some diverse teams, schematically, wing T teams, spread teams, 50 teams on defense, 40 teams on defense. So we've played just so many different styles of football and have won so many games. And that's boded well for our players in the playoffs, because you see different styles. And,
yes,
and you don't know, you got to be able to adjust on the fly, even though you've prepared all week. So then we come back to Thanksgiving week, and had a great week of practice leading up to re-hosting a Lakeshore team, who really up to this year, I don't know how long it had been since we had beaten them, you said?
8 years.
It had been 8 years. And so to have to play them again, and again, your offense was consistent. Defense came up with some timely turnovers. But it was a battle for 4 quarters.
Yeah, it really was. We let them hang around, which is, mortal sin in playoff football. And I think the big thing is we exhaled. We gotten up 41-27 with about 8 minutes to go, and we just exhaled. And then, we had a couple of mental breakdowns, some things you shouldn't do, controlling yourself, playing within your scheme, and we let it get away from us. And next thing you know, we're having to defend a 2-point play to win the game, which, thank the good Lord we were successful in doing. But that's playoff football. You said it after the game. Survive and move on, and that's where we are.
Yes, you're exactly right. And we talked a little bit about the, sometimes when there's momentum is a real thing, especially in high school when you talk about teenagers. But they make a couple plays and kids get a little. They lose that aggressiveness,
right,
and their fear failure. And really in playoff games, it's not about fear and failure. It's about going out and executing.
Right.
I told you, I remember my high school coach. I used to go to a lot. We would lose my first, I think, 6-7 years as a head coach. We lost in the second round. We had never made it to Thanksgiving. And a lot of times we were beating teams who were beating themselves because we were so conservative as a football team. And we'd lose in the second round in tight games. I go watch a meet. I'll never forget. And I watched my high school coach, Donald Career, fake a punt on a critical situation in the quarterfinals. They executed, I think they ended up beating Notre Dame. And it dawned on me that, you can play conservative and safe. You still got to be smart.
Right.
It's calculated risk. And win maybe the first 2 rounds. But when you get to that third, that fourth, and that state championship game, you got to let it go.
Absolutely.
And you got to play smart, and you got to play aggressive, and you got to let it go. And so it dawned on me then, and I changed my thought process. That's something that I'll say about you is you kind of, we faked a punt last week in a critical, so we didn't make it. We came up a bit short. But we were playing to win instead of playing to not lose.
Yeah, Coach, and I just think that makes your kids believe in winning. They have to believe they're going to win the game. I just think in these, especially now, when you're down to the last 4 teams, it's handling the moment,
Right.
Positively or negatively. If something goes wrong, you got to remember the other guy's a real good team.
Yeah, no doubt.
You got to come back and respond to it. Don't drop your lip. Don't hang your head. Don't mope. Just, okay, it happened. They're real good. We're real good. Let's go back and get it back. And on the other side, the flip side of that is handle it when it's going well.
That's
Don't
right.
start to take your foot off the gas pedal.
That's right.
If you can score 100, score 100. You can't sit back and be conservative. And I told Matt this morning, tomorrow night will be a night where he has to call his very, very best, most aggressive game he's called, and keep it that way. And then if we're fortunate to have one more point than Iowa, the next week it's the same thing.
Right, and you're right. When you play good opponents, they're going to make plays. You're going to make plays. You just have to make more than they make.
Right.
And handling that is important. It's tough. Like you said, some guy, you can't get down on yourself.
Nope.
Heck, they're a good team. They're going to make a play.
Right.
You got to just get ready for the next 6 to 8 second burst that a play lasts and focus and be intentional with what your assignment is and your execution. and then you'll have success.
Right. It's funny, people asked all week. We came back to school Monday, and people around school, Coach, is that team any good? Like, it's the state semifinals. I think they're pretty good.
Right.
You know, so.
It's kind of like Alabama and Georgia or something playing. The coaches, Georgia, everybody's good now.
That's exactly
I mean,
right.
you got to go out and play your best, and that's what the preparation is, and that's what the mentality needs to be. So, folks, when we come back, we'll take a few minutes, and we'll discuss our opponent tonight, the Iowa Yellowjackets from in the Lake Charles area.
Wait a minute, get it how you live it. 10 toes in when we standing on business. I'm a big stepper. Underground.
When it's this good, you don't leave anything to chance.
I love learning at school. I love school. It's the best. School is really fun to me. Happy school day. I love school so much.
My favorite thing about school is having fun with my friends and learning about like math. This school teaches me how to make the right decisions in life. It teaches me like the right people to be around.
My favorite things about school is math and spending time with friends.
I love school because it teaches me how to learn.
Franklinton Junior High is special to me because it gives me a wonderful education and makes me be the brightest student I can. Franklinton Junior High has very loving people and is very kind to everyone, and it's very nice to talk to people.
I love the junior high because my friends make it so much more special for me.
Franklinton Junior High has very good school spirit. You can tell them every dress out day somebody, and yeah, everybody's included in everything.
I love Ferguson High School. Go Demons, everybody.
I love Ferguson High School because the environment and the staff and the teachers, they're just all so great and amazing, and they really make the high school experience really great. Franklinton High School has given me an opportunity to meet so many new people and create new friendships that'll last a lifetime.
The opportunities at Franklinton High School has allowed me to be able to be the best person I could possibly be.
Franklinton High School provided me with the tools that I needed in order to succeed. It also exposed me to educators who have inspired me to be an educator myself, and I've been given the opportunity to succeed today and also in the future.
What makes this a special place? The students, the administration, and the staff, and this great community.
Welcome back. So, Coach, we obviously talked a little bit about the big Lakeshore victory. Prior to that, West Feliciana. Now we welcome in the Iowa Yellowjackets from that Lake Charles area district in 4A. Had some recent history in making playoff runs, and a quality opponent. Like you said, they went on the road as an underdog and beat a real good Franklin Parish team.
Yep. They do the things you need to do well to win in the playoffs. Coach, they run the football, and they're physical up front on the offensive line. Defensively, they're long on the edge, and they rarely get out of position. They're going to make sure they play position sound football. They tackle well. One of the things you notice about them is they rip for those balls. They try to rip balls out of your hands constantly. So we have to make sure we have good ball security. But it's like we said multiple times, they're good. There's 4 of us left, and so there's not going to be any secrets. They're going to do what they're going to do. They prepared the way they should have probably prepared to play us, and we did the same thing. So, when we go play them, I think the big key to tonight is how do we handle their physical run game, because they do possess some big linemen, and that's going to present a problem for us. But we've been to the task. We've played some big linemen all year long and have held our own. So,
Yeah, they're physical and they run well on defense.
Yes.
Like you said, the two defensive ends are, I think, maybe 6'3" and 6'4". They run well. They pursue the ball well. So they're a good high school football team, and we'll have to put our best foot forward.
Yeah.
And it's here at Franklinton High School. You know, got some wet weather, cold weather. Those conditions bode well, in my opinion, for the home team. I would much rather be right outside my front yard or on our field, and we get to go in that locker room at halftime and maybe put some stuff in the washer to dry or whatever we got to do to get ourselves ready. So that's a benefit to us. But there'll be a challenge. We need all our fans to come out. Our students are excited, as you would expect. Our community's excited. And I know Coach Salt and our football boys and all the band and support groups, all that goes with it, are trying to stay focused. They're trying to put their best foot forward tomorrow night. As you've mentioned to the team quite a few times this week, let's don't talk about Dome.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about Iowa.
Right.
We can talk about Dome Saturday morning if that's where we have to go.
That's correct.
But right now, all the focus, all the attention is on the Iowa Yellowjackets and them visiting Demon Stadium, and our players and coaches putting their best foot forward. So if you would, y'all come on out and join us tonight. Bring your warm clothes, and we're expecting a chilly night. Hey, we've been on that field in the snow, Coach.
That's right, and hopefully we can duplicate that score.
Yeah, no doubt. So we look forward to them coming into a hostile environment. Let them see what Franklinton High is all about, a lot of spirit, purple and gold. We'll have hot chocolate and coffee for all of those who are cold. And let's root our Demons on to victory. And hopefully make a trip down the road. I won't use that word because you said we don't use it.
Not till Saturday morning.
That's exactly right. So thank you for joining us, Coach, folks, and we look forward to hopefully continuing our show next week. And it's been a wonderful year, Coach, and we look forward to Friday night.
Absolutely.
Thank you.